Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video I'm going to talk about an example of writing a program to represent something from a different field of knowledge, in this case geometry. We're going to start with a vector, the vector 3, 2, which means over 3 and down 2, and add that to the vector 5, 3, which is over 5 and up 3. And the result of that is a vector 8, 1. Now there are a few ways to solve this. You could draw it out on paper and convince yourself that this is true. Or you could add the x coordinates to get an x coordinate and the y coordinates to get a y coordinate. Or you could go a little bit over the top and write a computer program to keep track of all that for you. That's what I'm going to do. I'll make a file vector.py. I'm going to write a class called vector, and this class is going to need to keep track of the x and the y component of a vector because I'm representing these vectors with two numbers. This is going to get object oriented. I'm not going to explain all the details of that in this video, but if you're curious about that, let me know in the comments and I can expound on this. But for now, suffice to say that we have an init method to initialize an object of this class, and that object will have an x value equal to the argument x and a y value equal to the argument y. Next, I want to define a way to represent this as a string so I can easily inspect it at the printed output. To do that, I can use Python's str method, and I'm going to return a formatted string that has vector with x, and then, oops, I need to remember to do self.x, comma self.y. And the next thing I want to be able to do is add a vector. I'm going to follow the pattern of adding the vector itself to one other vector. And to add a vector, you add it by the components. So I will say self.x plus equals other.x. That's saying self.x, take that value and add to it other.x and save the result to self.x. And now we'll do the same thing, self.y plus equal other.y. And now we have an add method. And I was gonna test things after just the string method, but I went and got excited and wrote the add method. Oh well. Let's make a main method to test this, main.py. We're going to import, I'm going to say from vector, import vector, and I will say that a vector A equals vector, now what was my 3 minus 2? Okay. Let's print A, and we should see on the output, yes, we see a vector at 3 minus 2. Now let's take a vector B and say that's vector at, now where was that one? 5, 3. We'll print B, and then adding B to A, we'll do A.add B and print A. We should see, now what should we see? We should see 8, 1. Let's print it. And we have 8, 1. So there you have it, a short program to represent vectors through object-oriented programming and display them on the console. Here's one last look at the code. and let's call that a video. Thanks for watching.